What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Veil. Today we got a super awesome group of guests. Not everybody, but I'm okay with it. We've got Jason Lassiter and Karen Justice from Get That Ghost Paranormal. How y'all doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Wonderful.
I'm great. I'm great. It's a great day to be alive.
Absolutely. Any day is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, would you guys like to give a formal introduction of yourself?
Yeah. Karen, you want to go first?
Oh, I was sure. Um, Karen Justice. I've only been in the investigation world probably about a year and a half, maybe. My sister actually got me into this. We've both always been curious about it since birth, I think. And my sister got into the investigating about 3 years ago, and so she was nice enough to buy me a what would you call it, a pass or a ticket or a a haunt with Jason and his team at Old South Pittsburgh for my 50th birthday. And so that's how I met Jason and got involved with him.
That's awesome.
Yep. So,
Yep. That's how we met. And I'm Jason Lassiter, founder of Get That Ghost in the Sea, lead investigator. Uh, got into this. I've been doing this since I was probably about 14. Uh, I don't know. My friend's house. It's haunted, still haunted to this day. But I'll just tell you what really got me into it, and then I'll kind of go from there because I can talk for days. Um, we were having a party,
Hmm.
and he had a Ouija board, and back then I didn't know anything about Ouija boards. So we're in the we're partying in the den with everybody from school, and we just think we're so cool playing games and da. Well, I decided to spend the night, so when the folks left, I stayed there with him. And this is actually Brian's grandparents' house, Karen. Hey, Brian's
oh,
one of
wow.
my investigators, but I stayed there with him. Well, I got up in the middle of the night and I needed like a sip of water. I was thirsty, so got up. The hallway went down to the kitchen, and then we had to pass the. I guess it was like an extra living room or just a seating area. Well, right when I got there, something caught my eye. I took a glance into my left eye, and there was a face in the TV. Well, so of course, at this point, I haven't ever really paranormal investigated. So I take off running to Brian, and I'm like, "There's a face in the TV. There's a face," and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "There's a face in the TV." So, but anyway, of course, we go back in there. It's gone. But that we've heard noises there. That's kind of what sparked me into it. And then I just started reading books and studying. Actually, there's a book called Ghost from Catherine Ramsland. That's one of like the first books that I read. I mean, it really pushed me and motivated me to get into it, into the paranormal side. And then, of course, along came Ghost Hunters. So thought that Jason Hall's the original. I still think Ghost Hunters is probably one of the only ones that still do the right thing. But started watching that, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I can do this. So didn't have a team. I didn't have a team until this past December. I've done this by myself for forever. Uh, and then one day, one day, sorry, my allergies. One day, my wife says, "You need a hobby." I'm getting.
It's
She's
always
over
good
there.
when she says that.
She's actually right next to me, but she's very pregnant and a little ornery. So we'll see that works out. Uh, but she said you need a hobby, and I said, well, I've been ghost hunting for all these years. I've always wanted to have a team. What do you think about that? She said, sure, whatever you got to do. So December 1st, 2022 is when we officially became a team. Like I'm actually like a business with a business license, everything.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
the main thing that after watching Ghost Hunters, what pushes me now is helping people. That's all I want to do. Like even if it's with a location, a haunted location, whether it's a business, a home. Uh, I mean, we go anywhere. We do home investigations for free. We travel. I mean, if we can travel to that location, if we can't, we have somebody that can, and we'll find somebody.
Yeah.
I'm in this to help people, and I'm in this to show people across the world that para unity can still happen, and show them that TV is it's the paranormal field is not like TV.
Yeah.
It's not. That's what's ruined this field. Everybody thinks that it's just like TV and it's demons. And blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. So my goal with that as well is to show people that it's not evil. I've even put posts on my Facebook page to explain how we use God and Christ in everything we do. I mean, I pray every single time I investigate. So I go up against folks like that because in Tennessee it's the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
So it's. But anyway, that's actually, I mean, that's really started the team. Started finding people. Well, our psychic, I don't know how we even started talking. She just kind of appeared, and we're still friends. But everybody, my team's perfect. I mean, I've got the perfect people, perfect amount of people, and their roles are amazing. So that's what really got me started. But my goal now is prayer unity and to make sure that the people that need help get help. And another big thing I'm trying to put. Sorry, I told you.
Sorry.
Another big thing I'm trying to push too is uh, with our service members to have somebody to talk to. Like a lot of these people, like police officers and firefighters, they experience some really insane stuff, war, all those things. They have no one to talk to because people just laugh at them. And I didn't really have this brought to my attention. We were actually in Missouri. We're helping another place in Missouri try to get up and running. And we were up there and we visited a location and there was a gentleman there. And I don't know how we got on the subject, but we started talking about ghosts. And he told me a story, and he said, you're the first person that I've ever been able to tell that, and you not laugh at me, or you not say, "Are you stupid? Are you on something?" So he was a police officer. That motivated me to want to do that as well.
Yeah.
So that's my goal is to help people and para unity, and yeah, teach people that TV's not the real thing.
Absolutely.
So
And before we get into any further conversation, I'll say thank you for what you do for people,
thank you.
because I was interviewing another team and they said that they went to a location and somebody was trying, another investigation team that's highly popular was trying to charge $20,000 for an investigation to a
What?
to a normal haunted location. That is going to break the bank.
Oh my
You know what I
That's
God.
mean?
insane. That's taking advantage is what that is.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, that's
taking
all it
advantage.
is. I mean, that's just wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's
Wow.
ridiculous.
it's insane and it's terrible. It's people taking advantage of other people, and they can say, "Oh, it's because you're going to be featured on TV," but that doesn't matter, right? Like, who give? Sorry
Nope.
for the language. Who gives a shit if you're being
It's
featured
right
on?
though. I mean, it's right though.
Absolutely.
And everybody's out for the dollar. That's another thing you have to watch. We've interacted with some teams, and they will turn around and stab you right in the back because they just want fame and money.
Yeah,
Well, it's not all about that. That's what people don't understand. There's no money and no fame in this. These people get lucky. Like Zach Vegas was somebody that got lucky. These
yeah,
PV people got lucky. You know, so
yeah.
I try to make people understand that too. But yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I just it's insane.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for what you do for service members, not just for military service members, but like you said, firefighters, policemen, EMTs, because
Anybody,
that's huge, right? Because there is a huge lack of support, but even further, there's a huge lack of support for people who experience paranormal
yes.
events, right? Like me, I'm a veteran of the Army. I was in 12 and a half years, and
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
thank you for your support. I appreciate you guys. And I've experienced some things that like I could not fathom. And unless it was in a group of people that I really trusted, I wouldn't talk about it, right? Like I wouldn't talk about some of those things just out in the open, right? My
Right.
my prerequisite for like meeting people while I was in service and like hanging out with them was, do you believe in spirits? Right? Because if I'm going to communicate with you, that's going to come out. And if I talk about these things and you laugh at me or tell me I'm crazy, that's a quick way for me not to trust you anymore.
Right. Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so the people that I associate with, that I associated with were, and I call it macabre, but on the more macabre side of things. And they believed in that, and they believed in so much more. And so I want to say thank you because you guys are providing a space for people to talk about these things openly and not feel like they're psychotic or having a psychotic break.
Right. For sure. And it's just, excuse me, my allergies are crazy today. I work at a cemetery, so that's another thing. I work at a funeral home, but I was helping at a cemetery.
Nice, nice.
So of course, weed eating.
Ah,
Uh, yeah. So anyway, absolutely, it's my pleasure to do any of those things, man. That's just me. I just I don't know what it is, man. I have to help people, or I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. I know
Yeah.
that sounds crazy, but that's just
No, I love that about
some.
you.
Thank you. Somebody needs to be there. Somebody needs to be there for people.
Yep.
Somebody has to do it. Like people are like, you work at a cemetery, you work in a funeral home. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Well,
I just want to be there for people.
there's a side of that that people don't see is that you create that space for grieving people, all
Yep.
right?
And,
And
and I'm.
you
I'll go
and
ahead.
you give them that space to grieve
Mhm.
and to say their final respects until they meet again, right?
Right.
And so that's helping people.
Mhm.
Karen, what do you
Absolutely.
do? What did I hate saying day job,
Yeah.
but what is your day job?
No, it is a day job. I work for the state of Tennessee for the
Nice.
Department of Education. So I'm lucky enough now to be able to work from home, and my schedule is typically the 8 to 5 kind of thing. But
Sorry, we
Yeah,
have dogs.
it's
Let
okay.
me, let me move rooms.
yes, I was just gonna say I love working at home. I get to be with my dogs. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, the,
Well,
the
We
flexibility of
have
my job
dogs.
affords me to
Karen,
be able to help Jason sometimes.
Karen,
Wow, it's really
thank
bright.
you, thank you for what you do. You help shape young minds.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank you.
That's
I'm trying.
Welcome.
I'm in
You're
the
welcome.
finance side of it, but we fund all the K through 12 schools. My office
Mhm.
does. So,
well. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate everything that you do.
well, thank you for
Sorry, I
that.
apologize. I'm trying to get
It's
moving
a,
around.
it's okay. You know what? I've recorded with somebody that was in their car driving. They stopped at Starbucks during the recording.
I wasn't gonna do that.
They had a
I'm just trying to
crying.
make it not so bright.
They had a crying baby in the background. That's fine. It is organic and it's
Life.
natural, and that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. I'm not.
Cool.
I'm not here to make people like to glorify things. I'm here to show how it really is. And
This
so
is life.
it's life. It's life, and
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
perfect.
Yes, it is.
And it's not perfect. So, anyways, let's start off. Karen, how was your day?
My day was really pretty good. Um, I got to spend it with my dog, and
Mhm.
I was somewhat productive at work. So that to me, that always makes me feel better that if I accomplish something,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
I can write that off
Mhm.
as okay, I did okay today.
That's awesome. Jason, how was your day?
Busy. Busy, 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 busy. Woke up, like I said, helped in the cemetery, and then have been answering messages from folks about that location I was telling you about like crazy. So it's been a busy day.
Yeah,
Were
you
you
got a
I
just
lot
love
posted
it.
going on.
I like it though.
last night?
Hmm?
Was last
I didn't
night
hear
the
you,
first
Karen.
night you posted it that you put it
Yep,
out there? Okay.
yep. I'm forward booked already. It's
That's
gonna
wild.
blow up.
Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's right down the street from the Bell Witch. I mean, it's gonna blow up.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And we're gonna talk about the Bell Witch here in a little bit.
uh
I
oh.
I I I've done some. Oh no, we lost Jason.
Oh, we lost him.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
But any, anyways, yeah, we'll talk about the Bell Witch a little bit later on because I've done quite a bit of research.
Oh, awesome.
It
I've never
happens.
been there. I've always wanted to. It's not far from me. I
Yeah.
just haven't had somebody that would want to go with me, but now that I've got Jason and his crew, I'm sure we could make a run of it.
I've done some research and it was just weird because I stumbled. I love searching up paranormal shows. We're gonna talk about the paranormal like shows here in a second,
Oh
but
wow.
I stumbled
We'll have
upon
another hour.
right. I stumbled upon a paranormal show and it was like Curse of the Bell Witch or something like that. And I was
Mm.
like, this is interesting. And then I started watching, I got really captivated in it. And then I started researching the lore behind it. And it fascinated me, right? Because
Yeah.
there actually multiple different stories and multiple different angles. Um, and the fact that like the actual house is no longer there, but it's moved. Like, what is that house haunted? Right? Like, and that's what goes through my brain. So
Right.
And so yeah, the Bell Witch always intrigues me when it comes to Tennessee legend and lore. And on top of that, the mountains, right? I mean, there's stuff in the mountains.
Sasquatch.
And the caves.
Yeah, yep, I believe it. Then there's the Bell Witch Cave. Didn't know that was a thing until I started
Yep.
watching TV.
Right.
But anyways, before we dive into some of uh, Karen and Jason's past with the paranormal anymore, uh, Jason and I had a conversation when him and I first connected, and he said something that I have felt for a long time, and I let him know that I feel exactly what he's saying. Is that he said that paranormal investigating or on TV killed the field. And I would like you to elaborate on that, Jason. I feel exactly what you're saying, and I feel it, but I'd like to hear it from you.
It's just I mean, TV shows. Everybody that I've interacted with that is from the outside. Even some of the people that I had on my team at one point, I call them TV people. The reason is because they watch TV. They watch a 30-minute episode, 45-minute episode of a show. They think within that 30-minute episode that they're actually getting all this evidence. Also, they're believing that the evidence is actually real. I'm so good now. I've been doing this for so long. I watch the shows for entertainment purposes and to debunk their stuff.
Yeah.
So I have gotten really, really good at that as well. But the reason they have ruined it is because everybody that we interact with at any point that I ever interact with anybody asks about the TV shows. And they're all like demons, demons, demons. Everybody thinks that there's like if I've been to a million places in Robertson County and I've tried to push us, try to get us in, which I have gotten us in some cool places that we haven't been allowed, what nobody else would be allowed. But anyway, uh, it's just that's what they think it is. They just think it's demonic. I mean, and this automatically what they think is because that's all they see on the TV shows.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have to explain to people that visit or people that I run into that it's like fishing. It's not going to be a million things in 30 minutes. It's like fishing. You have to put the bait out. If they decide they want to bite the bait, they bite the bait. And then I tell people when you come, there is absolutely a chance that you will not even get anything because they interact with people different, just like we do. They are us. So yeah, uh, I'm very passionate. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I know the TV people are probably good people. A lot of them probably are, but I don't like people taking advantage of people, and I don't like them bashing the field that I'm so passionate about.
Yeah.
So pisses me off. If you just want me to be honest, I mean
Oh,
that's all it is, man. And I've had and they think it's okay to provoke and piss them off, and it's hard. I mean, when you take people and investigating, and they start doing what they want and trying to piss the ghost off. I mean, I've let somebody go on the spot. So
yep.
I don't know. Anyway,
I've got
they
some.
get that from TV too. So all of
I
it's from
I
TV.
I've got a few things to say about that, but I want to get Karen's perspective on it. How do you feel about that?
I'm absolutely the same way. I guess I'm looking at, well, is there another possibility for this, whatever incident happened
Yeah.
or that you saw? I guess I've kind of always been that way, but I know I want all of it to be true. It's like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. But it's like, oh, no, can't count on that one because there is an alternative option why maybe that happened that we just
Can't
are getting
comprehend.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I think
Yeah.
Jason put it perfectly. I've never heard it in the fishing term, but that is totally accurate. I
It's what
like
it
that.
is.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we put the REM pods out. Are they going to play with the REM pod?
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and yeah, I have to absolutely agree with the both of you. I think that spirits will interact with people in different ways, right? Like,
yep,
uh, but also it's like the sensitivity of the people, right? if you're sensitive to those things, or if you've been desensitized, that's completely different. Than you perceive things differently. But I also believe that people have a common misconception of malevolent, demonic, and just a spirit, right? Okay, look, eh, I I've run into things that I'm like, that's purely demonic, and it's not. It wasn't
Look,
at all.
look.
If it was demonic, it would destroy me to shreds.
I tell you this. I tell you this. Demonic is going to be the most random thing that you're ever going to see. In 40 years, 40 years, I have had one home investigation that I believe it was something demonic.
Yeah.
Other than that, Old South Pittsburgh, all these places that all these people go to, I don't. I can. I mean, I've done it for so long. I can read energies. I can feel energies. Yeah. So that's my statement on that.
Yeah. And the provoking bit is, I think it's
I
just
don't get it.
absolutely stupid.
I don't get it. It's like picking a fight with us, man. Why would I walk up to you and just poke you and start yelling at you for no reason? It's the same thing. You just can't
Show
see
me
them.
something.
Right, right, right. You
Do
better
you want
touch
this
that
little
ring or I'm gonna
figurine?
bust you up. I mean, it's just people are crazy.
Show me something. You want
Right.
here, take the figurine. It's fine.
You want the spider ring? It's just it's nuts. I mean, it's just crazy. I think that's
Yeah.
maybe, and it goes on too. I'm just going to kind of say something on that too. It goes on energy levels, like the person's energy level. I was just going to add that to what you were saying. Like anywhere I go, you can ask Karen. Anywhere I go, I rile them up because I'm a high energy level. But
Mhm.
by the end of the night, I'm dead. I come home, fall out, and sleep for 2 days. But
I
it
think
goes
you
on
wear
that as
the
well.
I think you wear the spirits out then too. I mean, because it's like seems like every time I'm with you, they are pretty active. Like no matter where we are,
Hmm.
you bring them
Yeah.
out, you make them come to life, and they're like full strength for a few hours, and then, whew, then you
We
don't
They
both
got
hear
fall.
anything anymore. So I think you wear them out as much as it wears you out.
they need
Right.
to
We
take a
both
ghost
wear out
nap.
each other.
Yeah,
Right. But we both wear out each other.
They need to go take out a ghost nap.
Seriously.
But
There's actually a thing called a paranormal hangover.
I believe it. I believe it. But yeah, I believe it's with intention too, right? Like if your intentions are pure going into a location, you're gonna get
Yep.
that pure response. But if it's malevolent and you're like, I'm just gonna say, if you're Zach Bagan walking into a building, you're gonna get exactly what you asked for, right? But if you go in there with the intentions that are pure, like, hey, I want to do this for scientific research,
Right.
right? Then you're gonna get
Or
that in return.
or you're like Zach Bagans and you'll get anything and you just fake it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that too.
you
Yeah,
put it out there, didn't you?
Zach, if you end up seeing this, I love your entertainment, buddy. You're very entertaining.
I will say, that I am thoroughly convinced the very first documentary that they made that brought them to discovery is real. Everything after that, not so much.
Was that the house where they bought
Uh,
the house?
no, it was Virginia City. No, it was
Oh,
Virginia
okay. Yeah, yeah,
City.
yeah. I remember that.
No, that demon house. Look,
That was
the,
wild, but I don't know.
the Exorcist that I interviewed was like, I went to that house. I
Probably
didn't feel
nothing.
anything, and I was like,
Nope.
okay.
Of course. I've had instances up here where people have told me, so we have a museum that's a very, very old museum. And I've had instances that people that are TV personalities have came in and the actual, I know the director of the museum has told me that they have asked for things to make it look fake.
Whoa.
Not going to say anything, not going to say where, but I heard it from from the horse's mouth. That's what they say in the South.
Mm,
So, but yeah, I can't fake
sheesh.
it, but I don't understand how I don't understand how you can fake stuff.
No.
I don't get it. Why? What, if you're wanting to be in this field and you want real evidence
Yeah.
and you want to do the real thing, why would you fake it? What's the point? What the hell's the point of showing
Yeah.
something moving if I don't know, man.
No.
It's a very, very strong subject for me. I'm very passionate about it.
Oh yeah. I
So
think like there's two pieces of compelling evidence that I have seen across any investigation shows that I've watched, and there was one that was on like Discovery, and it was called The Ghost of Morgan City or something like that. It was in Louisiana, and they called it apparition, like,
Yeah,
and you couldn't fake it, right? I
I
was like,
believe
okay,
that.
that's cool, right? Because it's Louisiana. That
Hmm.
obviously we all know the history of Louisiana.
Right.
And then there was someone one on YouTube where it was just a head that popped up out of the water and then disappeared, and I've never seen anything like it. And that's like, even talking about it, I get goosebumps
Mhm.
just watching it. But moving on. Um, so Jason, we heard from you about some of your beginnings, about how you started in paranormal investigating. Karen, when did you start noticing, hey, this is, I might have seen something or experienced something that I can't explain?
I think my most memorable moment was actually just a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. My aunt had passed away, and I always loved this aunt. She was always kind of my idol. It's like I want to be her when I grow up.
Mhm.
And she was always very close with me and my sister, even though we didn't live close. But we had a service for her, and it was during COVID, so not a lot of people showed up. But that night, we were at my sister's house looking, we were going through my aunt's, some of her stuff. And my sister just got the wild idea to put on one of um, her ghost apps on her
Mhm.
phone. Well, actually, it was a little bit before that, but anyway, we were kind of talking to my aunt, like, "Hey, if you're here with us, let us know." And words started coming through. Um, the light flickered, and me and my sister kept looking at each other, like, "Do you think she's here?" It's like, "Yeah, I think she's here." And a voice came over one of her apps that she had, and I swear it was, it, I think it was her. I swear I think it was her.
Wow.
And it was just, I don't know, it was almost confirmation because earlier that same day, we were at the actual service, and me and my sister had brought our phones, both of our phones had the apps turned on. Um, I think I had brought a voice recorder too, and we had sat it in the pew right in front of us, which nobody was sitting in. And we kept looking at it, and I swear every single time the minister said something about saying her name, Ruth, there would be a huge spike on the meter. I think we
Wow.
had one meter on our phone, and we kept looking at each other, and it was just, I don't know, it's really hard to describe because I can't remember exactly what all happened, but it was just too coincidental to actually be anything other than somebody was talking to us. Somebody was telling us a sign.
Yeah.
And my stepmom isn't really a huge believer. She believes, don't get me wrong, she does.
Mm.
She believes in life after death. That we go on and there's spirits, and her house is haunted. Her and my dad's house is haunted.
Mm.
She was a little freaked out by all the stuff that we were getting. And my sister's husband actually got so freaked out, he left the house.
Hmm.
He was like, "No, I can't do this. This is just too weird." A couple things, okay, but it was several hours that we were actually communicating with her. We
Wow.
didn't, it was just really weird. She was the first person too that I actually got touched by.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's always stuck with me. I was staying at my parents' house, when I go back for vacation, that's Iowa.
Mm.
And my aunt had passed away, but I always stayed in the same room that she used to stay in. And you would periodically smell her perfume. And my stepmom said, "Yeah, I believe Ruth comes back every once in a while. If you smell her perfume, she's probably here." Okay. Well, one morning I woke up super early, couldn't sleep, and I just felt like maybe somebody's here. And I started talking to my aunt, thinking, "Aunt Ruth, are you here with me?" Because I thought I could smell her perfume.
Yeah.
Sure enough, a very light, gentle touch on my arm. And just in that very spot, I had goosebumps. Just in that
That's awesome.
one middle spot of my arm. I don't know. That was my Jesus moment. I think that it was just like,
That's cool.
wow, she is really here. Yeah.
Wow. Is that kind of what
That's
sparked? Go ahead, Jason.
I said that's the best confirmations when it's family.
Yeah. Was that kind of like the spark that got you like, I think that I want to do this or at least make this a hobby?
Um, my sister actually was, yeah, that actually was the turning point for me. I really did want to know more and really delve into it more. My sister was more curious a couple of years earlier. So she'd been somewhat working with the team and she had done some investigations at that point, and that's why we had any equipment at all,
Nice.
because she was, you know, starting to get into it and stuff. So yeah, after that, she just blew up with it. She's
She
now,
facil- she
um,
facilitated what you were
yeah,
doing now.
yep, she did. Normally it's me facilitating her stuff, but this time she got me in on this one. So kudos to her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jason, after you had that experience at your friend's house and you seen the face in the TV, how did that shape you? Like did it terrify you? Did it keep you intrigued? I know you said that you read books and started doing some smaller version of investigating, but did that like scare the shit out of you? Because I know it would me.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I was terrified, and that was the first time I ever really experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it was wild, and yeah, that kind of grabbed my attention. And I was like, wait a minute, there's something to this. And then I guess that's the main thing. Because my family used to say that the house I actually purchased was haunted. Like that, my great grandparents' house, supposedly it's haunted as all get out. But anyway, but yeah. So I don't know.
Jeez. Hey
How
Karen,
old were you
you were
when
gonna
you had that? Yeah, I just was
Huh?
going to ask Jason how old he was when he had that scenario with seeing the face in the TV.
14.
mm,
Yeah, I used to be terrified of the dark.
mm.
Now I chase it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
need
I
a
would.
T-shirt that says that.
Right.
I need to make one of those. I could put that on the back of
Yeah,
one of our team shirts.
I
That's
like that.
marketable. That is
That would be
marketable.
good. Definitely.
That is pretty cool. That is awesome. So, Jason, you get a little bit older and you start doing some investigating on your own. What are some of the more um, profound locations that you went to and you're like, yeah, this is definitely haunted?
One of the coolest places I've ever been to is Mount Olivet Cemetery in Nashville. Man, it is. I think it's like 356 acres, and it goes way back. Like they even have a section that's just like Catholic nuns and priests. I
Wow.
mean, it's amazing. And we've had things there run up on us in the daytime. You can hear them running in the gravel. I mean, it's all get out haunted. And then my favorite place, well, not my favorite place, but one of the places that nobody else has ever investigated, and I can't tell you where it's at, but we talked the lady into letting us into a mausoleum in Nashville. Well, it had never been investigated. Okay, so well, of course, sweet talked her, got the code, went in to investigate, and man, I lost my train of thought. I
At
just
the
totally blinked
mausoleum.
out.
The mausoleum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, uh, that's that was some pretty intense. That's where I mean they had voices talking right in our ears. I actually that's the first place I saw a full-fledged, full-body apparition,
Mm.
and I thought it was a person. I I thought it was a person, but the person that was with me at the time, because I thought we were going to get caught. I said, jump in the shadows. Don't let this person see you. Well, she looked forward and she goes, "There's nobody there." So I went to the front office and I was like, "Look, I got a question." I said, "Has anybody else come in and out of here?" And she said, "No." She said, "It's just been you guys in here." I was like, "Okay." Well, there was a guy standing in the mausoleum reading one of the memorials, and she was like, "Huh?" I said, "Did you let a guy in with a hat on?" And she goes, "What kind of hat?" And I was like, "It was a fedora." She goes, "Oh no, 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 that's the fedora guy." And I was like, "You knew about him?" She goes, "Oh, I see him all the time."
Hat guy.
And that's the first place I got grabbed. I'm not talking like beep beep. I'm talking like rip your shoulder off grabbed.
Mm.
but like like you were asking me. Sorry, I didn't ever answer your question about was I terrified. I was terrified, but it exhilarated me. It's
Yeah.
energetic. Like now I look for it. I wait to get touched because it's that unknown energy. I mean, I love it. Like somebody asked me the other day if I wanted to go to a haunted house, and I thought he meant like a real haunted house. He meant like one of the fake ones. And I said, man, I said, dude, why would I waste my money when I sit in the dark and get grabbed by something you can't see? And he's like, touche. I'm like, it's
It's a
just a
fair
waste of
point.
money for me. I'm not gonna jump. That's not gonna scare me at all.
That is a
So
fair point. Very
I
fair
mean,
point.
if you get grabbed by something in the dark, there ain't much more that can scare you,
No, no,
and you can't
absolutely.
see it. That's the creepy thing. You can't see
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Karen, uh, what do you say is your favorite location you've ever investigated?
I'm actually going to go with the Walton House.
100%.
Um, I have had something unusual or being able to document in some way every time I've been there, which I've not been near as much as Jason. But you can go somewhere, like you said before, you can go somewhere and not ever get evidence or not really feel anything. But that house, there's a lot of activity. It may not be the same, from one night to the next, but there's always something.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah,
Nice.
I really enjoy that house.
It's the most haunted place I've messed with. I mean, it's even more haunted than Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. I love you guys if you see this. It is very haunted there, but this place is more haunted in my eyes, interacting wise, than there.
Well, and it's
I mean,
more
it's
condensed. Everything's in a
yes,
smaller area, which
yep,
at the hospital we didn't have enough people to spread out and hit
nope,
everything all at once.
it was
Mm,
impossible.
jeez.
Right.
Yeah, that
So
would have to be a few day adventure.
absolutely, ours is an 8 hour, and you'll leave smiling. This is I call this this is where skeptics become believers.
Nice, nice, nice.
So
That's awesome. Okay, so the Bell Witch.
yeah, Bell
What do you
Witch.
know? What do you know about the Bell Witch?
I've been told that. Oh, you want to go, Karen? There's
Well,
like a
all I was
bunch of
going to
different
say is
stories.
I read a book one time that really, I guess a lot of the details stuck with me. That was there. I think there was 3 kids in the house, and I remember reading that the kids would constantly have issues trying to sleep. The bed covers would get pulled off. And on more than one occasion, the beds themselves would levitate or move, and people would not believe them. They were deemed an outcast.
Yeah.
So they were kind of having to deal with all this on their own, and they had no idea what they were dealing with or what to do about it.
Yeah.
I, yeah, I don't really know how it ended, but I know that they all went through a tremendous amount of hell, might we say,
Yeah.
because of all the public scrutiny that they were given because they believed in this kind of stuff. And I mean, I think just after reading what I read, how could you not be a believer that some of that, even if it was a portion of what was said, was true? It'd be enough to scare the living daylights out of you.
Well, here's something even crazier. Thomas Jefferson went to their house, and he had an experience at their house.
Andrew Jackson.
Well, it was Jackson. My bad. Not. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
No,
right.
you're good. You're good.
It was one of the presidents.
He's down the
When
road. Actually, he's not far from us. His house is actually maybe 20 minutes from my house. 25 minutes.
nice.
So
Nice.
anyway, sorry. It's
No,
close to
yeah,
the Bell Witch. It makes sense.
yeah. You're absolutely right, though. He had an experience at their house, and like never went back, and that was furthermore like isolating to the family. Which, if you follow like the role of the demonic, like they're trying to isolate people away from other people to oppress them. That's exactly the purpose was served. But I don't know it
Right.
as demonic. I don't know if it's malevolent. It's just stories that we hear, legend. Jason, what have you encountered anything in in your time as an investigator, or surrounding the Bell Witch?
I've never investigated. They just now opened up. I mean, this past year they've opened up investigations. The owners before, the owners now. This is the owner's kids. The owners passed away. They didn't allow investigations. The
Oh wow.
kids took over, and now, of course, they're publicizing it. But
Mm,
I haven't been up there to investigate. But my take on it, I don't think it's a witch at all. Honestly, it's been proven that that's Indian burial ground, and there's Indians buried above that cave. I think that they've pissed off the Indian spirits, and it's a curse from the Indians.
yep.
If you want my honest opinion, I don't think it's a witch at all. I know they have the people, they plugged in the names, but my opinion, I believe it's Indian spirits that are pissed.
Yeah.
And they could turn into, they could put the curse, they could do the animals. Like they were saying that a weird dog creature with red eyes showed up. I mean, Indians could do that too.
Yeah.
So, my opinion. But I mean, as far as I've had a lot of people that have had a lot of experiences. I mean, I know people that have done some investigating, has some good stuff up there, but I don't know. It's just I mean, I hate to say it this way, but it's been talked about for so long,
Yeah.
for so many years. But that's why this excites me that this place is down the road
Yeah.
and haunted as all get out. Like that's. But as far as that goes, that's my personal. I've never had any. I've studied it. I've read books upon books about the Bell Witch. I've seen shows. I've talked to people. Like the Bells are here. Like, they've actually got the Bible in Springfield in Adams at the original church. So
Wow.
I had a
but
girlfriend that was friends with the Bell Witch, friends with the family,
yeah,
descendants of the family, and she used to live in a trailer that was on the Bell Witch property, and
that'd be
she would
wild.
constantly come into work saying that the dishes would get rearranged in the kitchen all the time. All the like the
Mhm.
plates would be where the cups were and back and forth. And she said things were always getting moved, the lights were always turning on, and she said they would stop if she just was getting upset about it, like mad upset, like just stop doing it. I'm tired of this. She said they would stop. So I don't think it was anything, ugly either.
It's the
But
property.
she would, yeah, she this was like 20 years ago. So this is, I don't say fairly recent, but it yeah, it never changed. She was living on that property for I know like 2 or 3 years, and it didn't stop. Like
Wow.
it was ongoing, just something all the time.
Jeez.
And there's a proven curse. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of the actual curse itself, but if
Yeah.
you take a rock or pebble or anything from that cave, you will have something tragic happen. And I mean, people have died. They've
Yeah.
had broken legs. They've had people wreck. I mean, it is a curse on that cave.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. It could be a witch. It could be an Indian, but I know there's something that's not good there.
And not
Absolutely.
when
And they're and
Christmas
all
Eve.
and all they're doing with investigations is poking the bear.
Oh yeah. Most
So
definitely. So before we wrap up, Karen, if you could give advice to somebody that wants to step into a role of being an investigator and with like zero to little expertise or experience, what would you give them?
I think I can relate this back to this past weekend when we were at the Walton House and we had some people with us that hadn't investigated before. Um, so I guess I was telling them, don't be disappointed if you're not catching something. I said I remember that my first couple times when I went with my sister, I didn't really know what to look for or especially listen for, like on the EVPs. This is something I had to kind of figure out. I was looking for a crystal clear, vocabulary, wordage, and it was, some of the people we were with this last weekend, we were going through some EVPs and we caught yes, yes, they were answering our questions.
Mhm.
And we showed them the EVPs or let them listen to them, and they were expecting that same thing, kind of more of a pronounced
Yeah.
interactions. So I guess I would think to tell them, just keep your mind open to anything is possible, and it can come in any kind of tone or vocabulary. It's not going to be crystal clear what you're hearing, and you're going to have to get used to listening to this over and over and over, you will get more adept at picking out the words and the phrases, and it will get easier.
Absolutely. Jason, what would you give to somebody that's a lack of a better term, a seasoned vet, and they want to start up seasoned vet and they want to start up their own paranormal team? Somebody that's been doing this for a while, and they just one day woke up and they said, "I need to start my own paranormal team." What would you give to them?
Be careful. Make sure that you look into the backgrounds of the people that are wanting to be on your team. Make sure that you find out who they really are. I mean, don't watch TV. Get with other teams that are seasoned folks before you start. Try out a team before you start, and make sure that you want to lead a team, because there's a lot to leading a team. And do things the proper way. If you don't know how to do it, ask somebody, study it, find it. And like I said, I keep saying it, don't ever believe TV.
Absolutely.
Go in with an open heart, open mind, and don't give up. And just never give up. That's the main thing. Because if you do, you'll never get any evidence. You'll never get anything. Keep fishing.
Keep fishing. I like it. Jason, where can we find you at?
I'm actually on, well, Facebook is Get That Goes Tennessee. TikTok's Get That Goes Tennessee 1. And then, which my YouTube page, I don't even know the handle. I just now started it up. And then I've actually got, if folks want to look up the Dr. Walton house, actually, if you go to my Facebook, you guys will have to check out the Dr. Martin Walton house in Springfield, Tennessee. Beautiful, historic 1809 and loaded with activity. So
Absolutely. And
yes, sir.
yeah, if you guys hit up Jason, or you guys want to hit up Jason and go there, and you can't find him, just say, "Hey, where's that Jason guy at?" And I'll forward you right to him. Jason and I
There
are
it is.
friends. So,
Yes, sir.
anyways, Jason, I want to take a moment and say thank you for this conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Karen had to jump off, so if Karen was here, I would say thank you, Karen, for the conversation. I really appreciated it, and I
I can let her know.
look forward to coming to your location.
Yes. I can't wait to meet you in person and let you
Right.
experience it yourself.
Right.
So
I'm very short, right? So like, don't get your
right.
don't get your expectations up.
That's all right. I'm 6'1", so
I'm 5'5" on a good day.
there we go. Hey, that's all right though, man. That's all right. That's cool shit. Hey, you've seen Schwarzenegger and DeVito.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it all works out.
Here's Schwarzenegger on DeVito.
There you go. So that's cool.
All right,
stuff,
all right, everybody. I want to say thank you for hanging out with us, and till next time, be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Much love.
Thanks, guys.